I still remember the exact moment my daughter smiled at me and destroyed something much bigger than a vacation. "Mom, the cruise has been canceled," Emily said over the phone. "The travel company had some booking issues. They're refunding everything." I stared at the suitcase sitting by my front door. It had taken me almost 2 years to save for that family cruise. Every extra shift at the hospital, every dinner I skipped eating out, every birthday gift I politely refused. It was all for one dream. 5 days in the Caribbean with my daughter, her husband Ryan, and my 2 grandkids. "I guess these things happen," I whispered, forcing myself to sound cheerful. "I'm really sorry," she replied before hanging up. Something felt off. Emily usually talked too much. That day, she rushed me off the phone in less than 2 minutes. The next morning, I called the cruise line myself, hoping to ask when refunds would arrive. The woman on customer service paused. "I'm sorry, ma'am," she said carefully. "Your reservation hasn't been canceled." I frowned. "What do you mean?" "It shows 3 guests checked in online yesterday. Only one passenger was removed from the booking." My stomach tightened. Who replaced me? "I'm afraid I can't disclose another passenger's information." I thanked her, but my hands were already shaking. An hour later, my neighbor Lisa sent me something that made my blood run cold. "Isn't this your daughter?" she texted. Attached was a Facebook photo. Emily stood on the cruise terminal smiling beside Ryan, and standing proudly between them was Ryan's mother, Carol. The caption read, "Family cruise begins today. So grateful Mom could take the last available ticket." I read it 3 times. There was no canceled cruise. My own daughter had lied to my face and handed my paid ticket to her mother-in-law instead. I wasn't crying anymore. I was already planning what I would do next. I didn't call Emily. I didn't leave an angry voicemail, and I definitely didn't write one of those emotional Facebook posts people regret later. Instead, I sat quietly at my kitchen table with my coffee growing cold, staring at that smiling photo until every tear dried on its own. Then I remembered something. When we booked the cruise 8 months earlier, Emily insisted that I use my travel rewards credit card because it offered better insurance and bonus points. I had paid for every single ticket. Not Emily, not Ryan, me. I opened my email and searched for the confirmation receipt. There it was, 4 tickets, 1 payment, my payment. A slow smile crossed my face for the first time that morning. I called the cruise company's customer service again. "This is the primary cardholder speaking," I said calmly. "I'd like to verify something about my reservation." After confirming my identity, the representative explained that because I had purchased the booking, I was still listed as the financial owner of the reservation, even though my passenger spot had been transferred. "Can I still make changes?" I asked. "Yes, ma'am," she replied. "Certain booking privileges remain with the original purchaser until the ship departs." That single sentence changed everything. I didn't ask for revenge. Not yet. I simply requested copies of every booking modification, every name change, and every authorization connected to my reservation. Minutes later, the emails arrived. One document caught my attention immediately. Someone had electronically approved my removal from the passenger list. The signature beside my name wasn't mine. It looked similar, but it wasn't mine. Someone had forged my authorization. My heartbeat echoed through the silent kitchen. This wasn't just a cruel family betrayal anymore. It was fraud. Just then, my phone buzzed. It was Emily. "Mom," she said cheerfully over a noisy background. "We're about to board. I just wanted to make sure you're okay." I looked at the forged document on my laptop and took a slow breath. "Oh, sweetheart," I answered softly. "I hope you enjoy every single minute of that cruise." She laughed. She had no idea those words weren't a blessing. They were a countdown. The moment Emily hung up, I stopped being the heartbroken mother. I became the woman who had spent 12 years working in hospital administration, where every document mattered and every forged signature carried consequences. I forwarded the fake authorization form to the cruise line's fraud department with one simple message: "I did not sign this document. Please investigate immediately." Then I attached a copy of my driver's license and the original booking receipt showing I had paid for the entire reservation. Less than an hour later, my phone rang. "Mrs. Carter?" a supervisor asked. "We've reviewed your complaint. At first glance, the signature doesn't match the one we have on file from your original booking. So, what happens now?" I asked. "Because this involves possible identity fraud, we're required to investigate before allowing the reservation to continue without restrictions." I thanked her and ended the call. For the first time in 2 days, I felt something I hadn't expected. Peace. Not because I wanted Emily arrested. I didn't. I simply wanted the truth to catch up with the lies. 3 hours later, my phone exploded with calls. Emily. Ryan again. Then Carol. Then Emily. 6 more times. I let every call go to voicemail. Finally, a text appeared. "Emily, Mom, please answer. They stopped us at the port." Another message came seconds later. "Security says there's a fraud investigation on our booking." I stared at the screen without replying. A minute later, Ryan called again. This time I answered. "What did you do?" he shouted before I could speak. I told the truth. "You've ruined our vacation," I laughed quietly. "No, Ryan. You ruined it the moment you all decided I was disposable." There was complete silence. Then I heard Emily crying in the background. "Mom, please?" she sobbed after taking the phone. "We can explain." "Really?" I said calmly. I'd love to hear the explanation for lying about the cruise being canceled, replacing me with Carol, and forging my signature. She didn't answer, because there wasn't one. The silence between us lasted several seconds before she whispered the words I never thought I'd hear. "I'm sorry, but after everything they'd done," those two words were nowhere near enough. 2 weeks later, the investigation was complete. The cruise line confirmed that my signature had been forged. During the passenger transfer process, Emily admitted she had signed my name because she handed me a small envelope. Inside was a cashier's check for every dollar I had spent on the cruise. "I'm not asking you to forgive me," she whispered. "I just wanted to make things right." I looked at the check, then back at my daughter. "You didn't break my heart because of the money," I said quietly. "You broke it because you treated your own mother like she didn't matter." She burst into tears. For the first time, I believed she truly understood what she'd done. I accepted the repayment, but I didn't invite her inside. Some wounds deserve forgiveness, not immediate access. 6 months later, I finally took the vacation I had dreamed about, but this time, I traveled alone. I watched the sunset from the deck of another cruise ship, holding a glass of sparkling water as the ocean stretched endlessly before me. It wasn't the family trip I'd imagined. It was something even better. It was peace. Because I learned that people who betray your kindness don't deserve unlimited chances. Sometimes the greatest revenge isn't making them suffer. It's letting them watch you rebuild a beautiful life without them.